now with regards to where Vodafone Idea is concerned. The rights issue that has been approved as well. In fact, on the back of which, if you see the stock which is trading under pressure as we speak, in fact, the board of directors have approved an offer and issue, and this is to the tune of almost around 25,000 odd crores. Now, if you see in terms of the face value, it's 10 rupees. The issue price has been fixed at around 12.5, which is coming in at a deep discount of almost around 80 to 85%. And that's one of the major reasons why we are seeing pressure on the stock as well. In fact, when Bharti Airtel announced, the rights issue, it came in at a discount of around 55 to 60%. And the discount with regards to our Idea Vodafone rights issue is concerned, that is deeper than what the street had expected. The issue will open on the 10th of April and close on the 24th of April. Let's head across to Rajan Mathews, DG COAI, to understand more. Rajan, welcome to the show. 12.5 rupees per share is the issue price with regards to where the rights issue is concerned, which is a deep discount of almost around 80 to 85%. What do you make out of this?
So I think, first of all, the good news story is that we have three strong players confirmed now in the marketplace. And this is a vote of confidence by Vodafone Idea that they intend to be long-term credible players with the appropriate financial muscle to invest. Now, in terms of the discount, I think that really points out the perception of the distress of the industry currently, which we've been highlighting. We're saying is that, listen, in order for this 25,000 crore money to be leveraged to the maximum, the government ought to be able to be stepping in and addressing the financial stress in the industry and give investors the confidence that allows these discount factors to become more reasonable. So I think this is a good news story coupled with the emphasis we are making that the government needs to step in and maximize the value of the investments that these folks are bringing into the country. 25,000 crores, not a trivial amount, and so that's, I believe, the appropriate context to read this.
Right, so Rajan, but if you have to talk about the pricing of the rights issue, what do you make of it? Because if you talk about Bharti Airtel, and if you take that one into consideration, the discounts were much lesser than what Vodafone Idea is giving right now.
So I think, the investment bankers are best placed to read the marketplace in terms of ensuring that the appropriate pricing is adopted so that the rights issue is fully subscribed, hopefully oversubscribed, and then the marketplace will take over in terms of valuing that post facto. But I think the factor that you raise in terms of the discount, I think really is some indication of the distress of the industry. So hopefully, if a more positive indication then can be given in terms of the future focus of the industry, I think those discounts would have become a lot more reasonable and rationalized. We've obviously moved on from the time that Bharati did its right. There are developments in the industry. So I think the cumulative understanding of where the industry is going is critical in terms of the amount of money that can be raised and needs to be raised in order to invest in better networks. And I think we're getting a very clear message from Vodafone Idea that they are serious players. Now, the discounting factor is a marketplace phenomenon and hopefully will be addressed through the appropriate, instrumentality, which we are saying is government getting the right message in terms of addressing issues like spectrum usage charge reduction, license fee reduction, those types of matters we've constantly talked about.
So are we trying to say that the competition is going to be back into the market then?
Competition will continue. All along we've said that, we continue to see hyper-competitive matters and dynamics in the marketplace. That's kind of becoming what we call table stakes. We don't see that backing off. But we have to look at the future. These rights issues also look in terms of what is in the future. So we've been highlighting major opportunities in the marketplace. We've talked about IoT, machine-to-machine, cloud computing, increased security concerns of consumers and enterprise. We've talked about privacy issues, all of which really put the operator at the center of the dynamics. So hopefully the marketplace will continue to factor those in. Whether they have inappropriately discounted is a different factor. That, as I said, is for the investment bankers to decide. But I think it's time to look at these future dynamics, the future potential of revenue and begin to start factoring it into the pricing of these stock valuations.
All right, Rajan, pleasure speaking to you. We will come back to you as well. But let's welcome in Nitin Soni, Director at Fitch Ratings. Nitin, overall, a big discount coming in with regards to where the rights issue is concerned. If you have to compare it with a Bharti Airtel as well, what do you make of this?
So thanks for having me. We can't comment on the discount on the rights issue. All I can say is that this is a necessity for these telcos to raise money given their stretched balance sheet. If I remember correctly, the debt to EBITDA for Vodafone Idea would be 20x plus, with a debt of about $15-16 billion, and the consolidated EBITDA is about, on an annualized basis, is about $650-700 million. So that leaves little option with these telcos, and only to raise equity to remain competitive in this market. And remember, they also have to invest about $3-4 billion a year on capex to address the fast-growing data services and to decongest their networks. So yeah, for them, it's a necessity to do this rights issue.
According to you, what happens with this rights issue with regards to where the ratings is concerned then?
We don't rate Vodafone Idea as such, but we do rate Bharti Airtel BBB minus, and we have a stable outlook on the Indian telecom industry. And on the average tariff in the industry, we have been saying that it has bottomed. We do believe that in 2019 we would probably see a 20% plus rise in average tariff, which would benefit these telcos.
Right. So, Nitin, if you have to, talk about the telecom industry, where does it stand currently, and how many players do you think will survive out of this?
So the industry has already consolidated. We have three large players now: Jio, Bharti, and Vodafone Idea. I think these three will remain there in this market for medium to long term. And we already have a situation where Jio and Bharti have similar revenue market share. I think Jio is fast creeping up to the Bharti's revenue market share, while Vodafone Idea is losing revenue market share, and it's now close to 30.
I think we've just lost his line. We will connect back with Nitin as well. But we have Naveen Kulkarni from Reliance Securities also joining us. Naveen, what is your first take on the rights issue? 12.5 rupees is what has been announced right now.
Yeah, so my first take is, the rights issue has been priced quite attractively for all the investors. So there is, of course, a significant dilution which is taking place at this point in time. But the company needed this equity capital, so there was no doubt about that, and they had to price the issue quite attractively. So this will essentially mean that the issue will get subscribed, and the company will be able to raise the much-needed 25,000 crores that we have been talking about.
And if you have to take, Vodafone Idea into consideration and compare it with the Bharti Airtel in terms of the rights issue, the discount that Bharti Airtel gave was much lesser versus what we've seen from an Idea Vodafone. Now, the net debt, if you see with regards to Vodafone Idea, is almost around 1.25 lakh crores. The quarterly losses in FY19 also have been pretty large. Taking all of this into consideration, where does Vodafone Idea then stand?
So as far as from business prospects are concerned, the stress on Vodafone Idea's balance sheet was always much higher than Bharti Airtel. So that's what also is indicates why the discount is much higher. But having said that, with the capital infusion, the balance sheet will strengthen quite a bit from where it was. But even going ahead, the company will have to start delivering on synergies and other aspects for the business prospects to start improving.
Okay. And apart from that, if you talk about the players as well, how many will survive, and do you think this could lead to a rating downgrade?
That's a very difficult call for me from the rating perspective. I think the rating agencies will be in a better position to say, but I would say this, that the balance sheet is in a better position than what it was after the rights issue, But The business challenges still persist, but I think the joint entity has lot of good assets and capabilities, and they should start seeing some bit of stability in terms of numbers and improvement in EBITDA as synergies start kicking in.
And Naveen, if you're saying that, this rights issue is attractively priced, what is the reason that the market is taking it in a negative way? Because once it's announced, the stock is down almost around 5.5–6% right now.
Yeah, so the reason why it is taking it negatively for now is because the discount is at a very steep. The discount is quite steep, and also the weighted average price of the holding does come down quite significantly from the current level. So the benefits are yet to be realized from that perspective of the equity infusion which is happening. But on the other hand, the dilution is an immediate effect which is impacting the stock price.
Okay. So from here on, in terms of where ratings, in terms of the stock is concerned, I'm not talking from a credit rating perspective. How would you, change your view with regards to Vodafone Idea then?
See, from the perspective of the business and ability to do business, I think that improves significantly. As far as my recommendation on the stock is concerned, I will reserve my recommendation at this point in time because I would need to look at the kind of the strength that the balance sheet will see after the rights issue, and I'll be able to make a more informed decision once we see how the rights issue pans out.
All right, Naveen. Pleasure speaking to you. In fact, thank you, Nitin, as well as Rajiv, for joining us on the show and giving us an in-depth analysis. But overall, the consensus view that we are picking up right now with the rights issue is that it is pretty much in the right direction. There is a probability that the competition is back in place as well. 25,000 odd crores is what has been approved. The amount has been similar with regards to Bharti Airtel as well. However, the only difference here being that the discount that was given in Bharti Airtel's case was much lesser than the discount that has been given right now with regards to Vodafone Idea. The markets are not really taking it well as of now, but as Naveen was also mentioning, there is a probability that once, the things start improving from the business perspective, that's when we will be able to ascertain as to what's going to happen as well going ahead. But 5.5% lower is where Vodafone Idea is trading at. If you can just quickly pull up RIL as well as Bharti Airtel on the screens to understand, what's the immediate impact that we are seeing with regards to Bharti Airtel as well. RIL is also trading under pressure from the day's highest levels, with Bharti Airtel another one which will be a direct comparison. There you go, 1.5% lower at the day's lowest levels. 10th is when the rights issue will open, 10th of April, and will close on the 24th of April. And 12 rupees 50 paise, which includes a premium of 2.5 rupees per equity share if you have to take the face value into consideration as well. But that's all that we have on this edition of Market Pulse. Thanks for watching, and lots more lined up on the other side. Please stay tuned.